welcome back to This Week at Endicott. I'm Marie Wilson.
And I'm Nate Magoon. Let's take a look at what's happening this week across campus.
On Wednesday at 5 p.m., go check out the Goddess Group as they meet in the Interfaith Chapel. This is a group for female students to gather and talk about their identities and struggle as young women. All are welcome.
Also at 5 p.m., there will be a cultural presentations about Spain and Korea in the Little Theater of the Halley Library. Stop by and learn more about the opportunities and culture that these countries have to offer. Attendance credits will be given to study abroad applicants.
Another event is happening at 5 p.m. is the Winter Clothing Closet for those who are in need of some warmer winter clothes. From 5 to 7 p.m. in Gulls, there will be a donation collection of winter clothing items from community members that you can have for free. There will also be some professional clothing too. Email arroads@endicott.edu with any questions.
At 6 p.m., head to LSB 247 for the presentation about becoming a leader in the workplace. Join Endicott's DECA and entrepreneur resident Ed Brzicki to learn how you can become a strong and confident leader. Then at 7 p.m., head to the North Field as field hockey takes on Nichols.
On Thursday at 8 a.m., head on over to the Interfaith Chapel to start your day right with Gulls Pause meditation sessions. Then at 12, continue to pamper yourself by heading to Gulls to make your own self-care kits. There will be snacks and sweets provided.
The self-love doesn't stop there. Also at noon, there will be churros and hot cocoa provided by Academic Success in the LSB lobby to celebrate the midpoint of the semester. Treat yourself for all the hard work you have done so far. Keep it up, Gulls.
Also at 12 p.m., there will be a culture and conversation session in the Writing Center. Join students and staff as they talk about how cultures around the world handle, talk about, and work with different ideas. There will be snacks provided, and attendance credit will be given to study abroad applicants.
At 4:30, the Beverly Council on Aging is looking for volunteers for their game night festivities. Check your Blue Buzz email for more information to sign up. And at 5 p.m., join in the Relay for Life kickoff in Lower Callahan with games and prizes. You don't want to miss it.
At 5:30 p.m., head on over to the Rose Theater for the screening of Gray Lady, a film written and directed by John Shea, who will be joining us on campus on October 22nd. At 6 p.m., there will be a Preparing for Your Best Audition Masterclass in Tia's Theater with Ailse Robbins. Find out some great tips and tricks on how to make yourself stand out.
At 7 p.m., head on over to Library Room 112 for a creative coloring session to get all your end-of-the-week stresses out. Materials and snacks will be provided. Then at 8 p.m., get in the Halloween spirit with a screening of Hocus Pocus in Lower Callahan. At 9 p.m., it's 21 Plus night in Gulls.
On Friday at 9 a.m., there will be an MBA 5th year program informational session in the LSB conference room. Stop by and learn more about the opportunities that this program can give you. At 10 a.m., the sign up to volunteer with the Community Giving Tree link is in your Blue Buzz email.
Also at 10 a.m., there will be a classical Indian masterclass with Swati Tiwari in Tia's Theater. Stop by and learn a new style of dance from the Indian culture. And at 2 p.m., sign up to volunteer with Landmark Happy Hour in downtown Beverly. You can find the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 2 p.m., there will be a Bible study taking place in the Interfaith Chapel with a campus minister from InterVarsity. Head back to the chapel at 5 p.m. for a Shabbat dinner with the Jewish community.
At 6:30 p.m., the Northeast Arc is looking for volunteers to help out with their weekly Friday night happenings in Danvers. You can sign up to do your part through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 7 p.m., CAB is hosting a trip to the Corn Maze in Connors Farm. And you can get your tickets through the link in your Blue Buzz email. Feel like staying on campus for the night? Grab some friends and head on over to Lower Callahan at 8 p.m. for the Mamma Mia karaoke night.
At 8 p.m., sign up for a fun and relaxing paint night in Gulls to let out some creativity after a stressful week. And on Saturday at 8:30 a.m., Habitat for Humanity is hosting an open build to help build affordable housing on the North Shore. Check your Blue Buzz email for more information and to sign up.
At 10 a.m., the Beverly Farm Project is asking for volunteers to help out down the street with tending to their farm, which supports local churches' hunger relief programs. You can sign up to do your part through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 1 p.m., head on over to Hempstead Stadium as football takes on Curry. Then, starting at 4:30 p.m., the Endicott soccer teams will be going head-to-head with Wentworth. Women's will be taking place at 4:30 and men's at 7. Good luck to all our athletes. And then at 8 p.m., head on over to Lower Callahan for a self-care night to give yourself the attention that you need.
On Sunday at 10 a.m., sign up to help out with the Coast Sweep 2019 located at the Dane Street Beach in downtown Beverly. We've partnered with Ipswich Nature preschoolers to help clean up for an hour and then enjoy the playground play session afterwards. Sign up through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 12 p.m., women's rugby will be taking on Wentworth at Hempstead Stadium. Be sure to head on over to cheer on our Gulls. Then, at 5:45, sign up to volunteer with ARC for a night of bingo with special friends. Transportation will be provided, and you can sign up through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 8:15 p.m., the Christian Students Prayer Group will be holding an hour of prayer in the Interfaith Chapel. Be sure to stop on by and check them out.
On Monday, remember to take time out for reflection and conversation. The Gulls Pause is every Monday in the chapel from 3:30 to 4 p.m. At 8 p.m., the Student Senate meets in Lower Callahan.
On Tuesday at 11 a.m. in the Post Center's Hospitality Suite, actor, writer, and director John Shea will share stories of his journey through Hollywood. Later at 6:30 p.m., Mr. Shea will be discussing the process of producing, directing, and distributing his latest film, Gray Lady. That talk will also take place in the Hospitality Suite.
At 2 p.m., look for the Pumpkin Pancake pop-up on campus. Later at 5:30 p.m., the Endicott Safe Trick or Treat will be taking place in the Post Center. Join us as hundreds of families around the community join us for arts and crafts and candy and prizes. Click the link in your Blue Buzz email to volunteer.
Now let's take it over to sports with Pat and Connor.
Evening, Gulls, and welcome to EC Sports. I'm Connor Curtis.
And I'm Pat O'Donnell. Let's take a look at how our teams performed this past week.
The Endicott equestrian team finished third overall out of 11 programs at the Boston University Show on October 13th at Holly Hill Show Stable. The Gulls, who finished 2 points behind the top two teams at the BU show, posted several impressive performances, which included first place efforts from Helen Barrow, Sydney Putnam, and Katie Denker. Barrow earned a blue ribbon in the intermediate fences, while Putnam and Denker received blue ribbons in novice and introductory, respectively.
Senior forward Kristen McCarthy netted a hat trick to lead the Endicott field hockey team to a 6-0 win over Mount Holyoke on October 9th at MHC Turf Complex. Senior forward Julia Champagny and sophomore forward Addie Williams and junior mid Blake Barman also secured goals for the Gulls in the victory.
The Endicott men's soccer team and Nichols team played to a 1-1 double overtime tie on October 11th at Hampstead Stadium. Just 1 minute into the second half, John Breed picked up his first goal of the session to put the Gulls up 1-0. Meanwhile, the Bisons tied the game at a 1 in the 51st minute. Both teams had strong chances throughout the rest of regulation and overtime, but neither could find the back of the net.
The Endicott women's soccer team celebrated a 2-1 win over Nichols on Senior Day after Jamie Capernero scored the game winner with 46.9 seconds remaining in regulation. The win lifts Endicott to 8-5 overall and 3-1 in CCC play on the season.
The Endicott women's volleyball team split their non-conference tri-match on October 11th by sweeping Brandis's 3-0 before falling to number 23 Babson 3-1 with the split. The Gulls moved to 14-6 overall on the season.
That's all for this week, Gulls.
Thanks for tuning in.
She's as cool as a cucumber, so let's get agricultured with her. Let's meet our friend Amy.
Hello, and welcome back to Get Agricultured. I'm Amy Couture, and this week I'm going to talk about cucumbers and how they get judged at fairs. I recently went to the Topsfield Fair here in Massachusetts, and one of the barns I went into was full of vegetables. Looking at all the vegetables made me realize I've never done a veggie Get Agricultured. A lot goes into picking the right cucumber for the show. One of the main things is the size of the cucumbers. The three you bring to be judged should be relatively the same size and look uniformed. The size should be based off which of your veggies are considered best for eating and what would be best for storing as well. Bigger is not usually better in this case. The judge will also see if you left part of the stem on. The stem keeps moisture in the vegetable. You also have to make sure the cucumbers are ready to eat. If they still have bumps and little white spikes, the cucumber is still immature. If you eat If your cucumber starts to turn yellow, then they are overripe. Let's see if you can judge these cucumbers. Here are the 3 contestants. So I would place them as 3, 2, 1. I'd place number 3 over 2 because they are fully mature. While number 2 has more desirable size for the table, they also could be more uniform and shaped. I place 2 over 1 because they are more firm. Number 1 looks more uniform in color, but they are lacking in the stem area. And that's all I have for you on this week on Get Agricultured. I'll see you next time with another green episode.
Our reporter Jenna sat down with Melissa Ludtke. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Jenna Brown, and I'm here with ECTV at the Rose Performance Hall, and I'm here with Melissa Ludtke, who just gave a great speech, and she told us a little bit about her past in sports journalism, and you just wrote a new book, and you were telling us about how it has to do with women and gender stereotypes in journalism, in sports, and everything. Could you tell us a little bit about what you hope to, tell people about the book?
Well, I'm actually still writing it. It isn't out yet, but it will be out, hopefully in the next year or 2, depending on how quick I write it. But essentially, I'm going back to my own experience back in the mid-1970s, when I was the only full-time woman covering baseball, Major League Baseball, at the time, and ended up not through my choosing in a court battle with the baseball commissioner, Bowie Kuhn. And that came about during the 1977 World Series, when after getting permission from both teams to enter their clubhouses, which I had a credential allowing me to do, he took his sort of uber authority and decided that he would ban me not only from both of those clubhouses during the series, but he threatened to say that that would be a forever ban on all teams in baseball. And he believed he had the authority to do that. After trying to negotiate with him for several months and finding no give at all on his side, he was steadfast that this was never going to happen under his reign, and I say reign because he was basically the king of baseball. We had no choice but to go to federal court, and we went to the Southern District Court in Manhattan, a fairly famous courthouse, and out of the 25 judges that were on that bench at the time, through a random lottery system, we drew the only woman judge, Judge Constance Baker Motley, and she had been the first woman in the 250 years of that, of Southern District Court, which is the mother court of our country, to sit on that court. So she, by random, became our judge, and we were successful in arguing our case before her. And so her decision, which baseball threatened to appeal, they ended up in the end deciding not to appeal after a 3-judge appellate court ruled against them. So that decision basically became the decision that really set the pace for women to feel that they could come into sports writing and be treated with a sense of equality in terms of the access to doing their job.
Wow, that's really great. And, you've had a major impact on, I'm sure, a lot of women journalists. Coming here, talking to college students, what kind of advice do you have for any females going into sports journalism?
Well, I ended my talk today essentially on the note that there is a lot of equality of opportunity now, in part because of my case, in part because of the work of many women, who have come through my era and others. But really, we still see that women leave sports writing sooner than men do. There are a number of reasons that relate across a lot of societal issues and workplace issues. It may have to do with family. It's a really rigorous job to be traveling all the time. But the other thing that I really focused on at the end of my talk was the way women are still treated. And treated on social media, treated still by some of the people in the sports business. Although I have to say that, unlike my time, the leagues are the first to stand up and say when a player is out of bounds, which some still are, in terms of their treatment, they're the first to come down and say we won't accept it. But yet we still see in the NFL, for example, a lot of instances where players who are involved in domestic violence and abusive situations, are treated as heroes. It's true across college football. So I would say that like the girls on the bus and covering politics, it's the same for the girls in the press box in terms of sports. It's still a tough, challenging business to be in, but we've made enormous progress, and we now have, I'm happy to say, women in the broadcasting booths doing games. Amazing. And that really is where most people see the intersection of sports. So that's a huge accomplishment. We've moved from the sidelines to the broadcast booths, and we're still writing the stories. So I feel that's a good progress report.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. I'm sure you made an impact on so many people. I'm sure many people were inspired by your speech today. So thank you for sharing your time with us.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Really fun.
Thank you. Back to the desk.
That's all we have this week, Gulls.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.